So this is usually an IT area where children work in close proximity with adults as well. Because of social distancing, we've had to shut that area down, but using it for a different purpose now.
Adapting in the time of pandemic. And now preparing for some return to normality.
I think we've got to ensure that we reduce children's anxieties, staff anxieties and parent anxieties, and we've got to do all of that on March the 8th rather than over a staggered period.
But with a heavy legacy from largely shuttered schools, more support to help with the recovery. The government announced today that it will now be providing a total of £1.7 billion to help children catch up on lost education. The new money means an extra £22,000 for the average secondary school and £6,000 for the average primary school from a new one-off £302 million recovery premium fund. In all, an extra £700 million was unveiled today, £300 million of which was announced by the Prime Minister last month. A guarded welcome from one primary school head teacher.
Every bit of funding is going to make a difference. We can use that funding creatively. I guess there's always the argument that it's never going to be enough. A school of this size, we're large, 730 children in a primary school, £6,000 goes nowhere. But hopefully we get more than that. So we're larger than average, but it is definitely needed. I think I read today that it will be down to schools' own discretion as to how some of that money is spent. I think that's a great decision because schools know their communities the best, and we will know where to target that area.
A monumental challenge faces schools across the country, and in particular in deprived areas such as here in London's Tower Hamlets, in helping pupils recover ground lost during the pandemic. Just this week, William Hague acknowledged the scale of the task when he called for a school's recovery plan to rival the national vaccine rollout. A hint, perhaps, that the government should be even more ambitious in this area.
Gavin Williamson says he's rising to the occasion.
Now, as someone who has two daughters at school, I'm absolutely certain that we are going to do everything we can do for all of our children to make sure that they're not set back by this pandemic, that their life chances are in any way not stinted. We're going to do everything we can do to make sure that they can reach their absolute potential. This is why we're willing to look at every single matter in order to be able to drive their attainment into the future. And we are not going to be timid in terms of our aspirations for them and the actions that we'll have to take to deliver for them.
Can I just ask you?
One education analyst believes the government needs to go further.
And while £700 million sounds like a lot, actually the scale of the challenge means that it's really quite a modest amount for the government to be investing. We need a bigger, bolder and longer term plan to support young people to catch up with their education, but also to support their well-being because they've missed out a lot in the last year.
Tranquility for the moment. Soon a return to full school life, though a broken year of learning will cast a long shadow.